welcome to your live or if you're watching this on recorded client onboarding system about demo. I'm excited that you're here and I'm excited and honored that you're considering purchasing client onboarding system about. So we are going to have some stuff here. I wanted to give full transparency to what you're actually getting, right? Inside the client onboarding system in the box when you purchase it. So you're going to be looking under the hood. You're going to see what the modules are. You're going to see what resources are in there so you can make a truly informed decision about is this something that can work for your business or not, right? So we're going to dive right in. So the first thing that you do when you sign in, and let me switch the format here, and I'm going to make me little. Okay, so you're going to sign in to your client onboarding system in a box course. And the first thing that you're going to see is you are going to see a welcome video for me. There's going to be a few onboarding steps to follow to make sure that you get acclimated with the course. And then we're going to jump into learning how to navigate some of the resources. And because there's tons of resources and we're going to get into it here. I'm going to show you behind every single resource, show you behind every single module so you can see what you're getting. But you're going to learn kind of how to navigate everything. And also, one of the things I do want to point out is you're going to learn how to delegate, right? Some of these steps and to your support person. And you're also going to hear me say a lot that I use the term project, but it actually means service. So I just wanted to put this in here as well. And then we're going to jump into learning the basics. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you where the client onboarding fits into your customer journey and the client experience stages that you should be aware of that makes your business go around. And then we're going to jump into the 7 client onboarding foundations. And as I walk through these foundations, you likely are going to be like, yep, got that. Oh, maybe I need to make some improvements here. So then we're going to make sure that before we jump into creating the system and designing the onboarding steps, we're going to make sure that you just have a basic sales system in place. That way I know, and this is probably already obvious that you're collecting money, right? And you have a way of doing that. So it's just super quick, just making sure that just in case anyone comes in here that doesn't have that already set up. And then we're going to step into step 2. So step 1 is start with the basics. Step 2, we're going to define what your pre-work is, and we're going to have you create all of the assets for that. Then you're going to go to step 3, which is planning the kickoff meeting and creating your assets for that. And the kickoff meeting doesn't necessarily have to be an official meeting, but it needs to be some form of kickoff, right? Kicking off the project. And we talk through what makes this kickoff meeting and this kickoff foundation a really great success. And then we're going to jump into step 4, which is building in a client win. So I cannot tell you like how many times, like even when I started in the online business where I didn't know really about like having like cultivating a client win. To me, client wins were like when they said like, oh, like this is great, or like, and I was like, oh, okay, great. To me, a client win was like, did they complete their onboarding form, right? Which isn't the case. So I went ahead and explained that in this video on what makes a good client win versus what makes a great client win. And you're building that directly into your onboarding. Cool. Then we're going to jump to step 5, which is all about creating the client onboarding feedback survey. This doesn't necessarily have to be a form if you like that one-on-one interaction, but I talk through that. And the best thing about this as well is that even though I'm talking through steps, they're not, you're like, it's system in a box. We're not putting you into a box, okay? We're not putting your business into a box. We're just putting the system. We're giving you some parameters. We're giving you the foundations, and you get to infuse your personality, infuse your brand values, infuse your own creativity into what the survey is, right? It doesn't have to be a traditional survey. It can be a conversation. Those types of things are ways that you can tweak your client onboarding system to be super unique to you and to really stand out in the market. Then we're going to move on to step 6, which is creating a client onboarding feedback evaluation process. And that is just making sure that not only are we collecting the feedback, but we're also making sure that we're getting that we're using that feedback, right? That we're asking for the feedback, we're getting it back, and we're actually doing something about it. And there's a step in place to make sure that this doesn't get missed, right? Then we'll move on to step 7, which is creating your welcome experience. So this is when we start pulling in all of the steps and we say, okay, what is going to be my welcome asset, and what does my welcome message need to convey? What am I trying to get my customer to feel during that time, right? And I talk through how to design a good welcome message along with your all the things that need to be included or can be included inside your welcome asset. So then we jump into step 8, which is creating a place to actually track the client onboarding workflow. So I'm not only giving you an overview of some of the steps, again, you may be already doing, right? I'm not only giving you an overview and going through each step of your onboarding foundation in depth. We're also going to make sure that we turn this into a system, right? And the way that we're doing that is in step 8, we're going to create a place to track your client onboarding workflow, because gone are the days after you finish this course, gone are the days that you have the onboarding steps in your head. They're going to be documented somewhere. They're going to be assigned to someone. They're going to be timed out. And we start with creating a place to track that workflow. Then we're going to get into defining the pre-boarding and the onboarding steps. So there are 7 foundations of client onboarding, and there are 2 phases of or stages of the client onboarding system. So there's 7 foundations that we walk through, but 2 phases, and that's pre-boarding and then onboarding. So we're going to define what the pre-boarding and onboarding steps are here. So I give you a crash course on how to document steps, how to get it out of your head. And then we actually do that together. Like, you're going to be looking over my shoulder as I work on building and giving examples and actually doing this in real time. Then you're going to make sure you reorder the steps. You're going to define what happens next. Assign them to someone, because you don't want to be doing all of your onboarding steps, right? Even if you don't have the support person already built in, you can assign it to a role, like a virtual assistant role or a tech admin role or something like that, an ops manager role. And that way, like, okay, even though I'm the one doing all of these steps right now, here's the role that I actually want here's the role that I want doing this particular piece of client onboarding. And then I go through my framework. So once we do that, we are going to elevate your customer journey with my framework. So now everything's done, it's usable, but now we're going to add the pop, right? Or the pop, right? Or the pop. Okay. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of pop, which means that we're going to spend some time optimizing all of your touch points. And we're going to make sure that we talk through how to prove that your process is successful. We're going to define what your overall service goal is and define your success measurements. So I am giving away so many resources, because at each one of these steps, you may need some type of resource to put it together. Maybe it's an external resource or an internal resource. So that is what you get inside the client onboarding system in a box. So I'm going to walk through the resources. So the first thing that you're going to get access to is the client onboarding workbook, which is filled with the steps to match the modules. So you get to walk through this and you get to do some of the kind of writing and checking off that you did things all inside this beautiful workbook. And then down here, actually give you a roadmap for success. So again, I know that every single one of you is very different. Your time capacity is different and all the things, but I wanted to give you some guidelines on how you can get this done in 18 days. And this is a pretty spacious guideline. The overall course is it's actually under 3 hours to get through the audio, and there's audio trainings and there's video trainings. And there's assets like resources for you to use. But I wanted to give you a little bit of that like space in case this is kind of like one of those projects that you're also doing with, you also have this project and you also have another project going, right? So I took that into consideration when I was drafting up this roadmap. And so that's why the transformation, I believe, will take about 18 days. Again, you can accelerate that. You can extend that if you have to. It's absolutely up to you. It'll be based on your particular needs and your availability. So you get a roadmap. You also get access to this document called Client Onboarding Workflow Templates. So I have made remember when I said to bring all of your system steps together into one place? This is where you can put it, or I've created a template also inside ClickUp if you're a ClickUp user. So moving forward, all of my resources will be built both in Google Sheets for you to use, or in ClickUp project management system. Okay. Then you also get access to, let me come back here. So in here, there's a couple tabs. We're going to work through this prep sheet. This is for internal use, right? As I'm walking through some of the steps, we're going to use this to help us put it together. There's also a client onboarding checklist in here. And the way that populates is actually when you're drafting the steps here, it actually auto-populates to this list. So you could just copy this, throw it into a Google Doc, or throw it on Canva, or put it into a form, whatever form you have as a client onboarding checklist. All of your steps will be populated here. You don't have to retype them again. And then we have your client onboarding success measurement. So at the very end, remember when I said we are going to measure whether or not your client's client onboarding system is successful? I have designed a metrics table for you to use here. And then the next resource is going to be the client's success plan. So this is something that you can use that's going to be a client-facing document. So you don't see any of my branding on here. It's very basic, so you can do what you need to with it. You can put your own branding, all of the things inside this document. But essentially, this is going to help you as you're scoping out the project, which I teach you how to do inside Client Onboarding System in a Box. You get to actually put the answers or what you're scoping into the success plan to make sure that you and the client are on the same page. You can share this with them before their kickoff call. So that resource is inside as well. And then I give you a basic kickoff meeting agenda. So I give you an outline of like what a kickoff meeting could look like, and have that drafted for you. And I walk you through the step of how to make this your own and customize it. Then, so those are the resources that are included in Client Onboarding System in the Box. You get access to them as we walk through the step, so it isn't overwhelming for you to get through the onboarding system, and you're only using what you need when you need it. Okay, next is if you are catching this before the date of January 18th at 12 p.m. Central, then you are going to be invited to a live client onboarding implementation party. So one of the things I have heard and the feedback that I've gotten is one of the hardest steps is in creating any type of system is to get the steps out of your head and actually documented. So that's what we're going to do in the implementation party. If you see here, The goal is to get the steps out of your head and onto one particular client onboarding workflow. So that implementation party that you're invited to, this is for accountability and also just somebody there to like walk you through this and talk you through it. There's a video in here that you can follow that does something or does the same thing, but sometimes it's better if you're sitting with somebody, right, and you're able to ask questions, or if you get stuck, I can help you kind of through some of those sticky points, and make sure that you're pulling all of those steps out of your head and you're thinking through every if this then that scenario, right? So that is the benefit of coming to a live implementation party, but it doesn't stop there. Okay, so the live implementation party will be turned into a recording. So I'm going to record it, and the recording will also live inside the Client Onboarding System in a Box course under live recording. And you will be able to access it if you prefer to even watch the recording and walk through it in real time in that way. So whichever way, I try to approach this in multiple ways to really just help you get this done, because I know that it's only like 2% of people finish courses, right? And I want you to be successful and going through the steps, and I want to make this as easy for you as possible. So that's it. That's my spiel. That is the demo of Client Onboarding System in a Box. So I hope that this was helpful in helping you make your decision. I want it to be thorough, but I want it to be quick. So I hope that I've achieved that for you. And I'm here to answer any questions, whether you're watching this live, watching this recording, catching this 20, 30, 50, 60 days from now. I am here to answer your questions about anything you have about Client Onboarding System in a Box. And I'm going to end with this, okay? So I'm going to end with, it is $275 at this time of the recording, which may change, right? Who knows, right? We are always raising our prices around here. However, I am also releasing a series of products called Systems in a Box, which will include your client onboarding, which is already released, a collaboration relationship management, your sales system in a box, your client project management system in a box, your client offboarding system in a box, and your client advocacy system in a box. So if you are interested, I want you to, I will post a link for you to sign up on the wait list. So if client onboarding isn't something that you absolutely need right now, but if you just heard, I'm going to create systems in a box to complete your entire customer journey. So, okay, so I'm here for you. I want you to succeed, and I am releasing these products as fast as my brain and as fast as me and my team can develop them. So February 2024 is the next release. So that's like I don't know, 30, 45 days, something like that, right? In terms of if I release it at the end of February. So anyway, that is going to be the collaboration relationship management system in a box, collaboration relationship management system in the box that's coming out. So if you are interested in this type of product, but for a different piece of your customer journey, it is coming. Get on the wait list today. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I'm here to answer questions, and I look forward to seeing you inside the course or at the implementation party. And I look forward to helping you elevate your client experience so you can seamlessly onboard your clients, and that they can have confidence in you from the very, very start. See you later.